So exams have been going on now for a few weeks, and I know it's been very stressful and not easy. Hopefully they're all going well so far, and best of luck for all the rest. Today I'll be going over why this year is the best year to try your hardest and why it's easier to achieve the top grades in 2022 GCSEs and A-levels. I'll be giving tips and advice along the way, so be sure to watch the whole video. For context, I achieved all A's and A stars in my GCSEs and A-levels, and am now currently a dental student studying at university. This video will be structured in the following way: firstly explaining the changes to the marking system this year and explaining why it's easier to get better grades, and then moving on to explain why it's the perfect time to try your hardest and telling you how to do this. Timestamps will be in the description as usual, so feel free to skip around the video and I hope you enjoy. So now explaining this year why it's easier to achieve higher grades. It's all down to what Ofqual and the government have officially said this year. On the screen I have a visual representation of which I drew a diagram of how to better explain this. So in previous years you can see a normal bell curve distribution, and this is a normal distribution where the majority of students will get the mid-range of results. On the y-axis you can see the number of students, it doesn't really matter the exact number, and on the x-axis you can see the performance in terms of grades. You can see that in 2022 compared to previous years, 2022 marks will generally be lower due to the expected performance decrease. Students are generally expected to get low marks this year due to the pandemic and due to any external reasons which may be affecting their learning. And you can see previously to get a 4 and a 7 you need to get above a certain amount of marks. But for 2022 this will be changed. This year, like other years, you'll be competing against your fellow students. For example, a certain percent of students will get a grade 9 and a certain percent of students will get a grade 8, etc. So let's say 5% of all students taking the exam will get a grade 9, but this year it will be changed, so let's say 10%. I'm not sure of the exact figures, but you can check all the links in the description. But Ofqual are basically saying that a higher percentage of students will do better because a higher percentage of students will get at the top grades. This shifts the whole grade boundaries down, so it will be easier to achieve higher grades as you only need to achieve a certain mark in the exam, and this mark will be lower than normal years. Although they did clarify results won't be as high as last year, as results were inflated and they want to bring it back down to somewhere near normal. But they're doing as much as they can to help everyone. On the screen I'll put up a diagram and it says generous grading. Exams will be graded more generously this year, providing a safety net for students, and that's what sums everything up. They're trying to help students and provide a safety net so you'll be able to achieve maybe even higher than what you've aimed for. This will in turn help everyone, and I hope this comes as great news. As I said before, the links to all these sources will be in the description, but they're from the gov.uk website and Ofqual, so you can read them if you're interested. Now I'll be able to explain why this is the most perfect time to try your hardest and to give your everything. Motivation in students for education have generally decreased due to the pandemic and due to all the factors that affected the students studying this year. Using this logic, students will perform worse than other years because of this lack of learning. More students will lose motivation, and although this sounds bad, it's so good for the students who don't. You'll do better this year if you stay motivated and if you keep revising throughout this hard exam period. All you need to do is be better than your competition, which is other students. If other students are losing motivation, you need to make sure you don't. Your competition this year will be weaker than usual, so if you try even harder, you'll guarantee yourself the best results you can. You just need to outperform them, and although this may sound bad news to them, it is great news for those watching this video. So hopefully this gives you a little more motivation to study your hardest for your next few weeks or months of exams. Therefore, it's so important to stay as motivated as possible and to continue studying and to put everything into your studies for your last exams before your summer holiday. This way you can achieve even higher than the goals you wanted. And you want to give everything you have right now. So in the summer, whether you're sitting relaxing at home or whether you're sitting on a nice sunny beach, you want to think back at this hard time and be so proud and be so grateful that you worked so hard. You want to have no regrets at all. And I really hope all your hard work pays off. There are so many resources available at your disposal, and even now during exams it's never too late to continue studying and learning and revising. For example, I'll list a few: physics and maths tutor for science related subjects, exam solutions for maths, and there's so many YouTube channels at your disposal where you can learn so much information. So that was a little insight into how exams in 2022 will be graded. I really hope you learned something useful, and if you did, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. If you have any questions, post them down in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer as many as I can. Also, tell me how exams are going. Are they harder than expected, easier than expected, or going just fine? I'm really interested to know how exams this year have been different, as I've already heard a lot of drama and controversy around some leaks and things like that. I'm really interested to hear everyone's opinions on that. Thank you very much for staying to the end and watching this whole video. Hopefully I'll see you again, and I'm wishing everyone who sees this the best of luck in everything and anything you choose to do. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.